Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Who Are You, an unofficial Doctor Who watch along podcast. Today, we're talking about the fifth Doctor story, Mawdryn Undead. But before we get into the episode, my name is Ben, and I'm here with my co-host Cam right over there. How you doing today, Cam?
Hi, we're on video again. We were on video shortly for our fourth Doctor retrospective, but now we're testing it out. Unless we're not on video and we decided not to do video, but we're recording this, so if you're seeing our faces, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, we're recording this the night of the first episodes of War Between the Land and the Sea dropped. I just
Ooh.
watched them.
What are your thoughts on it, Cam?
So far, pretty good. Pretty good.
Really?
It's kind of what everyone was kind of dreading. I was just like, oh yeah, just watch that. The spinoff is going to be better. The Sea Devil spinoff is going to be better than the actual show. And so far, it's pretty goddamn good. We will see next week when they're releasing 2 more episodes of if they're going to be able to just keep on like going up the roller coaster, and then if we get the good finale. But so far, it's off to a really strong start. I'm kind of like disappointed that the regular show, I was gonna say the real show, but like the main show
Yeah.
didn't have this type of like drama and just automatically like I'm invested in the storyline. It's pretty good. It's what I wanted from Russell T Davies Doctor Who.
I haven't seen it, of course. Gonna wait many years for that. Um, but I would have thought, I mean, it just seems like an inherently less interesting concept. But maybe because I'm guessing it's a little bit more grounded, they're able to tell a different kind of story that maybe is pretty good.
Well, it is an interesting concept just because it's like, oh, these aliens that were living on Earth before us, so they're not even aliens, showed up and said, hey, we have beef with you. That's an interesting concept.
It's nothing I haven't heard before. I mean, it's just yeah, random military guys fighting
Yeah, but it's not fighting. It's more
monsters.
it's diplomacy. It's politics.
Uh,
So it's just drama.
I figured the war would be more violent.
No, it's mostly people talking. This is still a BBC show, Ben.
True. There's only so
Very
much
much
they
giving
can do.
off Children of Earth vibes, which was the hope.
Not class vibes.
No, it's giving off that Children of Earth vibes. Of course, it's not very gonna go as dark as Children of Earth, but I've said on this podcast before that Children of Earth is one of my favorite things of all of Doctor Who media. So it just being similar to that is already making me somewhat like, okay, this is so far is keeping up with that. I'm hoping that we get more into the politics side of it, much more the grounded stuff, and not have it be in like too campy. Because
Mhm.
I don't think this fits in this type of show. If they go a little bit more goofy or campy or ridiculous, it needs to be keeps on being grounded and to basically be like, what if this actually happened?
Yeah. The question is though, Cam, is how hot is the fish woman?
Like, I can't answer that because spoilers.
It's
That's all.
spoilers how hot she is.
Spoil spoilers, man. Spoilers. We'll get to it.
Is there a
Maybe I'll make a video.
30-minute sex scene?
Maybe I'll make a War Between the Land and the Sea video when it's all over. Maybe I'll do that. I'll make a video essay about War Between the Land and the Sea.
Interesting. Does
Maybe.
it give you hope for future spin-offs?
No, because we're not gonna get a future spinoff till like another 10 years. Class when was Class, Ben? I think the Class was 2016. So it
Yeah.
took 9 years for a Doctor Who spinoff. It's gonna be another 9 to 10 years. Who knows if the main show is even gonna be on in 9 to 10 years?
I mean, we'll have the Sabibi's show spinoff to look forward to, for sure.
It still just keeps on rolling. Just like how Doctor Who did in the 80s, Ben.
Indeed. Perfect transition. So again
Because John Nathan
today,
Turner, he liked rolling around.
yes. So this is not a War Between the Land and the Sea podcast
Yet.
yet. Important clarification. Today, this is a Doctor Who podcast. So today we're talking about the third serial of all the way back to season 20, Mawdryn Undead, broadcast February 9th to February 1st, 1983 on BBC One. This was written by Peter Grimwade, who previously wrote Time Flight and will go on to write Planet of Fire, which you don't really like Planet of Fire, right?
No. Well, okay, Planet Fire is a weird one because I've watched it when I was like, that was like young.
Yeah.
Like, that was young enough that, like, one, I rented the VHS from the library. So we're going back to when libraries had VHS tapes.
Yeah.
So, like, that was real early on. So I must have been single
Okay.
digits. So,
But so this is from the writer of Time Flight and the director of Earthshock, which is an interesting person that was able to create both of those things. And this was directed by Peter Moffat. No relation to Stephen Moffat, I'm assuming.
no, you asked that last time. Peter Moffat directed. No, he is not.
Who previously directed The Visitation and
But
State of
also
the
not related to Peter Davison because, of course, another Moffat.
is Davison a stage name?
Yeah, his name is. I forget what his first name. I forget if Peter is his first name, but I know his last name is Moffat.
I didn't know that. I knew Sylvester McCoy was a stage name, but everyone else I thought was their real name.
No, David Tennant. David Tennant is not his real name either.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. That's
Yeah, it was.
a good name to have.
Oh yeah,
That's a memorable name.
yeah. His name is Peter Moffat.
So this guy, Peter Moffat.
David Tennant. Wait. Before we get into it, David Tennant was David McDonald. But there already was a David McDonald. So you are aware that Peter Davison is David Tennant's father-in-law, right?
I think
Are you aware of this?
I knew there was some. That sounds vaguely familiar. So you're telling me Time Crash is a family reunion?
Yes. Well, not at that time. Didn't even meet his daughter at that time. He met her a couple episodes later when Peter Davison's daughter was in The Doctor's Daughter, where she played the Doctor's daughter, David Tennant's daughter, which she would then become his wife.
Wait, so the doctor's daughter, the actor is
Played
Peter
the
Dave.
Doctor's daughter, but then became the Doctor's wife.
Gotcha. And that is Peter Davison's daughter.
Peter Davison's daughter became David
Gotcha.
Tennant's
Gotcha.
wife,
I'm following you.
who played the Doctor's daughter in the episode called The Doctor's Daughter. But anyways, Ben, get back to the credits.
Yes.
Who directed this? It was Peter Moffat.
Yes. Who
Not Peter Moffat.
previously?
Sorry, I said where? Yeah, it was Peter Moffat. So
Yes.
Peter Moffat directed it, and then Peter Moffat starred in it. It's very confusing.
Did he star?
Sorry for going down that bucket of worms. And we now are able to capture your confusion live on videotape.
You're saying he starred in it? What did Peter Moffat play?
Peter Moffat is Peter Davison.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about a different Peter Moffat now.
Yes.
It's all very confusing. But this guy, the director, he directed The Visitation and State of Decay previously.
Yes.
2 stories that are pretty good. And he will
Goes
go
on.
on to do The Five Doctors, Twin Dilemma, and The Two Doctors. Those are some, I know, upcoming, some important episodes. How good they are, I cannot say at this point.
It's a mixed bag.
I know I'm looking forward to both the number doctor stories.
You're not looking forward to the Twin Dilemma?
I mean, all I know about that is like the doctor like strangles Perry or something.
So disappointing. I would have loved you to have gone blind for that.
because he's got a bad case of post regeneration sickness.
Plus, also the writer, or no, I don't know. I forget if Eric Stewart wrote that episode, but the script, at least the script editor, did not want Colin Baker to be likable because he wasn't involved in the casting, so he was bitter. So he wrote him to be miserable, and for the audience to hate him. But we'll get to the Sixth Doctor very shortly,
Yes,
Ben.
yes. Still going back to Mawdryn Undead, produced by John Nathan Turner, of course.
Who did the music this episode?
That is a good question, because we haven't talked about the music for a good while, because it's been
No,
mostly unremarkable, I feel like. But this is one.
no. I wouldn't say unremarkable. It was just no. It was consistent. It was very much the same sound and very much just added to the story.
Yeah.
Like it did what it needed to do. We didn't take notice to it.
This was incidental music was composed by Paddy Kingsland, who did The Visitation, Castrovalva, Logopolis, State of Decay, Full Circle, and Meglos. So he's done a lot in the last 2 seasons. Meglos was with Peter Howell, of course, which that I remember had a kind of a funky soundtrack.
Yes.
The rest, I don't really remember that much.
No.
Um, but I thought this one was really good.
I disagree. I hated the soundtrack this
Really?
episode. I was like, this is so weird and awful and off-putting. Like, I wasn't vibing with it.
I really thought there were quite a few moments where it really elevated things. Like I love when the ship is coming on the scanner and Nissa says,
Mm,
"Doctor," and the music swells in that kind of beat. Like
mm,
I couldn't hum it to you, but it's like a funky beat
mm.
and heightening the tension of the moment.
I wasn't down with the funky beats personally. I was like, this is not what I want.
That I thought was a really good musical moment. The other one I thought was really good is when, spoilers, later on, Brigadier remembers his past, and we're doing that little clip
Yeah, but
show.
that's just the same theme that played during the Logopolis, if I remember correctly.
Is it?
Yeah, that's just the same Logopolis theme. When the doctor. I
Yeah,
think it's the same exact theme.
I'll have to take your word for it. Actually, I don't have to take your word for it. I can. It sounds like the same synth, and maybe even a couple of the same notes, but there's like another kind of layer to the composition there. It's definitely similar.
No, it isn't the same. I was wrong, but you understand why I made that mistake.
They are definitely similar.
Yeah, but I will agree that that score is great. I do love that little bit of music. Oh yeah, what else in the credits, man? Are we done with the credits? Did you say when it came out?
I did say when it came out.
And then viewing figures wise, the highest it peaked was 7.5, the lowest no sorry, the highest it peaked was 7.7 for the 4th episode, and the lowest was 6.5 for the 1st episode. So Ben, give us a synopsis. Where are we gonna pull the synopsis on this week?
I pulled it from the Region 1 DVD. Turlough may look like a normal pupil at a boys' boarding school, but he's actually an alien from another planet. And when the menacing Black Guardian asks him to kill the doctor in return for a trip home, the boy quickly agrees. By coincidence, Turlough's maths teacher is an old friend of the Time Lords, but why doesn't the Brigadier remember that? The doctor, along with his friends Tegan and Nyssa, is about to find out. So spoils some twists, but the main kind of Mawdryn bit is not there. So Cam, what music aside, what did you think of this episode?
It I liked it. It's a good episode. Um, it is a solid, fun time. It's so nice to see the Brigadier back again.
It
Um,
is.
even though I do just want to point out right away the production note of just it was of course supposed to be Ian Chesterton. It makes so much more sense for it to be Ian,
For him to be a
a math
teacher.
math teacher at a boarding school for boys. Why the Brigadier retired from being a brigadier to saying, I'm gonna be going into teaching maths for boarding school.
I watched a little bit of the behind the scenes documentary on the Blu-ray, which I don't normally do, but I felt like it. According to one of the guys on there, it wasn't that uncommon for a exonerated military figure like that to be a teacher.
Interesting. God, that would suck to be a kid and like having a teacher that was like that high up in the military. That teacher is expecting a lot from you.
Yeah.
He's not taking any bullshit from the class, you know? And he's also
Yeah.
not repeating himself. He's probably not a great teacher.
I mean, sometimes you need to whip him into shape, give him a good caning, and he's got the discipline to discipline, so to speak.
But yeah, no, it's a fun ass story. I think it's one of those times where a classic Doctor Who just gets timey-wimey, and it's
Yes.
fun that it does that. And the concepts are fun. He's doing he's doing some of those big concepts that he did do in Time Flight, and unsuccessfully in Time Flight, but he works here. Like it is a pretty big out there story, but it's pretty solid throughout. Like I've never have a moment in here where like I am definitely in that camp of like the worst thing a story can be is boring. And this is not a boring story in my opinion. Yes, is it one that if I had to go beat by beat and explain why things happened, especially from this is my first time watching this story, I couldn't really maybe tell you fully. It's a little bit confusing here and there. It's a little bit like a lot of information at you at once, but the core story there is really solid. Brigadier is just so fun. It's fun also that we get two Brigadiers.
Yes.
So double the Brigadier. In particular, I would say the Peter Davison and Nicholas Courtney have a good relationship together. Like when they're on screen together, they have a good back and forth. In particular, like you already mentioned, that scene where the Brigadier remembers other memories is a really good scene. And the villain is interesting. We don't really get that type of villain that as much in classic Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But yeah, what things do you have to
Yeah. If I
do?
could,
What do a general thing, and then let's see what do you want to dive deep into.
yeah, right off the gate, I would say I really enjoyed it. Um, I think a big plus for this story is having the Brig back.
Yeah, but but let's get into that. I don't think we've really talked about the Ian thing yet. I don't want to brush the Ian thing. Do you think this story would have been better if we had Ian?
I don't know. It would have been different.
Yeah,
I have such different memories and recollections of Ian and the Brig. Ian, I really like Ian. I don't know. When I look back, because he's mostly a Third Doctor era guy, the Brigadier. He's so. When I think back to that era, and it feels very cozy to me. I kind of
yeah.
miss the unit family and those kind of earthbound adventures. So this is, even though Ian was longer ago, I feel more nostalgic. I feel like, especially since comparatively, we talked about stories with the Brig for like 6 months. I probably blitzed through the first like season and a half, which is what Ian is in for, in like a couple weeks, 2 years ago.
It would have been so much different, like you said. Like because of it would have had that emotional impact of, oh my god, it's the Doctor's first companion, as well as like that scene of having the flashbacks to the Daleks, having the flashbacks to the Aztecs, and like the cavemen, like having all those flashbacks would have been like, not saying that it still hits hair and with the Brigadier, but like it would have been different.
Yeah, and having, the Brigadier is such a, he's kind of multi-generational. He was with the second and the third and the fourth and now the fifth, and he can kind of pull. He feels, even though Ian was the first, or arguably Susan was the first, but whatever.
Well, like
Um,
companion and granddaughter is two different things.
the Brig feels much more core to the show's identity at this point in
Yes.
time, and having him back feels more suitable, even if the
Yeah.
particular context of the story, maybe it would have made more sense to have Ian, even just as a name.
It is also just kind of disappointing just because it's like, even if this was Ian's story, we would have got this type of story. One, I would imagine that we would have got the Brigadier and the Five Doctors, and then two, we would have got this type of story with Battlefield a couple seasons later, where we got Brigadier again. Um, but I still there's a story that works really well with the Brigadier. Um, Even though that there was a little bit like, I don't know too much if Brigadier is going to go into teaching. Yeah. So what do you want to talk about first? What do you want to go deep on?
I feel like, I mean, that's the Ian thing. I feel like there's more to say about the Brigadier.
Okay, we can go to the Brigadier if we want to go
I
to the
think,
Brigadier.
other than like, maybe on equal footing with Turlough and the Black Guardian, is the Brigadier being back as being the most interesting thing about this story. Mawdryn is okay, but compared to everything that's going on around him,
Yeah.
it's whatever. The Brigadier, he's back, and we get two of them,
Yeah.
and
Again, a timey-wimey concept
yeah,
where it is where we are with one Brigadier that is 6 years after the Brigadier has met with our two main companions, and the Doctor has to work with how to go back to them and save
yeah,
them.
and assuming unit dating doesn't exist, this 1977 Brigadier is one that's like kind of terror of the Zygon era.
But why did you have to bring up unit dating? Unit dating, because now it's like it makes no goddamn sense.
I mean, Sarah kind of already fucked it up, but this is even going to another level where like Benton is retiring before unit is formed. Like, I mean, there's the photograph from the invasion that fucked it up compared to the future. But also now we have three competing narratives, but pretending that does not exist. That's a whole other topic we could make. We
They were
have.
expecting that nerds were gonna talk about this on this thing called a
They
podcast.
should have known.
50 years later.
But assuming that Doctor Who always is set in the present day, 1977 would be like robot Terror of the Zygon era. He looks young, he's got his mustache, all that jazz. So, kind of the one that we know, and then we have this future slash present Brigadier who's more retired. He's a little bit more softer, a little bit bigger. And it's an interesting comparison between the two. And it makes the story very timey-wimey, which for the
Yeah.
time travel show, there's not nearly enough of stories that use the concept of time travel.
Yeah, definitely when we have a character in two different timelines. Like the fact that I can't even say a lot of things about that, for at least the classic show, is kind of weird. You would think they
Yeah.
would do more of this.
I think one of my favorite things in this story with the Brigadier, as we get to the end of it, where Both brigadiers are on the ship at the same time. Literally everybody, the Doctor, the Black Guardian, Mawdryn, everyone's like, "You two, you gotta get the fuck out of here. You're gonna blow up the universe, and everything else is secondary." And they're like, "All right, you gotta get you out of here." Heroes and foes united in not wanting the universe to be destroyed in a paradox. I thought was funny.
But also that scene that they do meet up is such a great scene because it has great suspense and very well directed. And I love like anything that's time where we have a suspense sequence when there is also a ticking clock element that you have somebody counting down the timer
Yeah.
for the doctor to do his experiment. And then like the sound design is also very good at that moment. And then when he finally does do it, you hear everyone saying, "No, Brigadier, no, don't!" And then they touch each other, and then of course then the conclusion of the story happens. But like that moment is such a standout moment of this whole serial. I knew that moment going into it was gonna happen. I was kind of shocked that wasn't the pot a three cliffhanger. I thought that was how it was gonna
No, it's the
end.
climax.
But it's the climax of the actual story, which we don't really get memorable climaxes to a lot of classic Doctor Who serials.
Yeah, a lot of the times it's resolved, and then we go about our merry way. Bye.
But even the way that the Doctor figures it out, it's like, okay, he did that then.
Yeah, but it's a big climax, which sidestepping to the Doctor. How do you feel about Peter, this story?
He's good. Another Peter Davison Doctor Who performance where it's just like there's not that much to say about his performance in this story. It's just a lot of just he's very good at doing like believing the stakes of a story. And also this is one of those stories where he also has to keep on thinking about what he's going to do next. So he's always on the edge of like, okay, this is what I have to do, this is what I have to do, and I'm always out of breath and just like this is a good story for his type of doctor.
I thought he was good. I think there's often not, but I think there were a couple instances where I feel like his Doctor kinda shined through,
Mm,
where one is the big thing where he's willing to sacrifice his lives to save his companions, which that's not that out of the ordinary, I imagine, but it's a pretty big, sacrifice to be willing to make. And then all of his interactions with Turlough, I thought were telling, where he can definitely I can tell that he can tell that something's up, but he's always willing to give him a chance, to
mm.
give him the benefit of the doubt, to know that he wants to do the right thing.
I think that's the next person we gotta talk about. We gotta talk about our new companion, Ben.
Yes, new companion slash recurring villain of Turlough, the alien trapped on Earth or something like that. The back of the DVD kind of spoils it, but they really just kind of half mention it a couple of times where he's like, I want to leave Earth. And he says, like, oh, you gotta do this and that to this device. You know, expressing knowledge outside of what an 80s schoolboy would
Yeah.
reasonably know. And Turlo, I think he's interesting. I say that a lot.
Is he though?
I can see he's got that innate kind of mischievousness, and having this hostile character in the TARDIS is a unique idea.
Yeah.
I find him somewhat likable. I could see how a redemption arc in the future
Yeah.
that could be impactful. He's a villain right now, so there's not a whole lot I can say, but I don't inherently dislike him. He's less annoying than Adric.
Yeah, but like I will agree he's less annoying than Adric, but also it's so disappointing because it's just like I was kind of liking the Tegan and Nyssa dynamic of the three people in the TARDIS. It's like, okay, now we got like you would think after season fucking 19, they would have realized, three companions, it's kind of a bad idea. But you know what? They decided halfway through season 20, you know what? You know what this was missing? A third companion.
Well, we won't have to worry about that for too long
No, but as well, but it's
because
also just like,
next story, spoilers, is Nissa goes away.
but like it's just Turlough also just there's not that much there except for he's just kind of like and you gotta the Black Guy's always calling him just being like you gotta kill the doctor and it's like I know I'm trying. It's like how long is this gonna go on for? Like and like I don't know actually to be honest. But like it's just like come on. But I gotta say I really do like the Black Guardian in this story. The Black
Yeah,
Guardian, the actor that they got to recast as the Black Guardian is very good.
it's not a recast actually. It is the guy from Invasion of
Wow.
Time who had like 5 minutes of screen time. He's back.
Shocking, because he is good. He is good this story.
Oh
He
yeah.
he's one of those British actors that knows like how to ham it up and have fun.
Oh
And when
yeah.
he's having fun, I'm having fun. So when
I
the Black Guardian's on screen yelling at Adric, I'm like, okay, I'm here for this. If this show was just abusing Adric, I would not Adric, sorry, Turlough. So interchangeable. Turlough and
yeah.
Adric.
I
But because imagine if the Black Guardian convinced Adric, and Adric had to then plan to kill the Doctor. That would have been a story.
Adric would be so easy to convince. Like there would be no doubts. He'd be like, "Oh, well, yeah."
The Black Guardian's just like, you know what? I'll take you to New Space. If the Doctor's not, I'm gonna. So you know what? Just kill him for me. That's all I'm asking. I'll take you to New Space.
But yeah, the Black Guardian, he's back. He's very good.
Very
I
fashionable.
believe the guy. Let me look up his name. He's like a radio personality, so he knows the power of like that voice.
Yeah.
Uh, Valentine Dial.
Mm,
Yeah, weird but interesting fashion to have. What is it, like a raven or a crow
mm.
headdress? I mean, it works.
It
He's
does work.
intimidating and evil, and having him back, I think, is good because it's a missed potential for like the source of evil in the universe,
Yeah.
essentially, and also makes sense to have back.
Hmm.
You know, after season 17, they got to do the randomizer. They got to cover their tracks, but they got sloppy. They lost the randomizer. The Black Guardians there. He's onto him again. Makes sense.
Definitely one of those villains where it is so shocking that they haven't brought them back for the new series. You would think they would have brought back the Black Guardian, the White Guardian, especially now that the time spoilers, man, the Time Lords are no longer a thing. Um, so it's just
As
like, okay.
of series 1, or is that a new development?
Well, like the Time War happened.
Yeah.
You know about the Time War. So
Yeah.
that's not spoiler, but like you would have think that because of the results of the Time War, now it's like okay, the Guardians out now even more fucking have more power and there's more mischief and
Yeah.
it would have been fun
I
to see. I would be down to see the Black Guardian and the White Guardian return.
I have to I bet we'll see him at some point.
I don't know, Ben. The new series has been going on for 20 years and they haven't come back.
Has it been 20? Yeah, I guess it has been
Yep.
20.
But also, it took 20 years for Omega to come back, so I don't
And aren't you glad he did?
know. No, God no. Like I was waiting like what? How many years? I think it would have been like 15 years for Omega, and I got what I got, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You'll wait. We just wait, Ben. That's gonna be a fun one in a couple years from now.
Oh boy. What about our titular villain here, Mawdryn? What do you think of him?
I like the whole concept of this race of people that are cursed with living forever. That's cool. That's a cool ass concept. Um, that like they want to die, but they can't die. Like it's a very dark subject matter for what is a kid show,
Oh yeah.
especially when Tegan and Nyssa get that disease. You don't want that. That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
It's towing the line for this age demographic of Doctor Who
Yeah.
because
Having like that
it is a dark
exposed
subject matter.
brain.
Yeah, it's something where I don't know if you could get that in the class. I mean, in modern Doctor Who, because like that brain stuff would be way too revealing and
Yeah.
like with modern makeup and CGI, like that would maybe be too much for Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But even like the concept is like if you play that today in a single camera show, modern TV lens, I don't know if the modern showrunners would say yes to that.
Yeah, having the villain's goal be suicide seems harsh. But I think there's a good balance here between for this character between being pitiful and being evil.
Yeah. And there's a twist. I always like a villain with a twist that it's like is not what you expected.
We thought it was the doctor all along.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think it works for like it works for the beginning of the part two when you're like, okay, is it?
I mean, even burnt up like that, I feel like
It doesn't look anything like Peter
Tegan and
Davison.
Nyssa should have,
It's like yeah,
even if he clearly hadn't regenerated at that point, that's not Peter Davison.
no,
You can't tell me that that's Peter Davison.
no, you can't. But
That's
it's like,
just a
okay,
guy.
what's going on here? And then by the time that it's like, okay, he has half of his brain exposed, you're like, okay, this is not the doctor, and everyone else should have figured that one
Yes.
out. But you still have someone like the Brigadier be like, I don't know, guys, what if it is the doctor?
He's done it so many times already. Why couldn't his sixth regeneration be weird?
Yeah, but it's also it's an interesting uh thing of where something else we don't really get. We get it in New Who a lot actually, but we don't really get it a lot in classic Doctor Who of just like a character that is after the Doctor's Time Lord lives, his regenerations. That's something that like we have never really had before this. Of like, no, we want the magic superpower that the Doctor has, basically.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. Yes, it kinda gets annoying now in modern Doctor Who, but this being, I believe, the first time this has ever happened, right? We never had this in the show to this point.
Where the someone's been after the
The Doctor's lives.
doctor's lives? Not really. I don't
No.
think. I don't know. The concept of at this point in the show, the concept of it is still very loose and limited
Yeah.
and only mentioned like once every other season.
Yeah, regeneration is just a way that we get a new actor, and sometimes they play it with the master of like, okay, he's out of regenerations.
Yeah.
Um, but it's never like even the way that he gets in his new body, it's like it doesn't really play with the regenerations at all.
But he does. The doctor definitively says, I've regenerated 4 times.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he hasn't, but we'll get to that.
Are you calling him a liar?
Like, well, he doesn't know yet. He will find out.
Is the timeless child a secret of that is not aware of? Don't tell me any details other than a yes or no.
At this point now. At a point he might have.
Interesting. I still, for anyone who's new, I like to crawl the wiki and learn new things, but there are some things I'm intentionally have not sought answers for, including what the hell is the timeless child. I know it's regenerations before the Doctor, multiple,
Mm.
presumably. Um, I don't know the context. I know it's important to like the universe or something. I'm guessing. I don't know. A couple things like that. Some the fates of each Doctor I don't know. Other than like 15, because I wanted to see his regeneration. Who, as
Which is
far as I can
one of the
tell, just
weirdest ones.
decides, yeah, I'm done. I'm dying.
No, that's like
Peace.
I said it in the video. Like that's the first Doctor by suicide. Like he literally kills himself. It's like,
Like there isn't any pre like he's not
yeah, no, there
wounded.
is there is a reason. No, he literally has to kill himself to do something.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I will look forward to suicide then.
You look forward to the reality war has come up multiple times in this podcast.
Yes, that's
If you're interested in
infamous.
my thoughts, click on the video that I did about it.
I'll put a little eye
Don't do that,
thing.
because then what happens if you don't? And then somebody's gonna be like, "Wow, they didn't. They were lazy and they didn't fulfill
I'll
their
make a note
promises."
for myself.
But yeah,
But yeah,
what to talk about next? There we had our true companions that have already been here, Tegan and Nyssa. Tegan and Nyssa kind of just there this episode. There's not really too
yeah,
much to say.
they're both kind of overshadowed by the Brigadier.
Yeah,
They're not left
and
a
the new
lot
companion
to
Turlough
do. Yeah, and Turlough as well. Nissa, as usual,
is the
is
smart
a
one.
yeah, she is the smart one. But it's another story where she really does not have much to do other than follow the Doctor around sometimes or hang out in the TARDIS while everyone else runs around and does stuff. Like, it's bad. Like,
Yeah.
I see why she's gonna be going away soon.
But Ben, you don't understand. Like, they just couldn't write women up until like,
But Tegan is,
well,
like, good.
yeah, but like,
And all
you're not
Nissa
always like
does
that.
is be all women know how to do is be smart, scream, and stay put.
She's not Australian, Ben.
I know. Those Australians are a different breed. Which Tegan's pretty good as usual.
Yeah,
Not as much to do, but what she does
yeah,
do is strong. I really like her.
yeah. But just again, it's just she's not really given the amount of time, just because we have so much things to do in this story. This is
Indeed.
definitely feels in that camp of stories where it's like, this could have been a five or six potter. There's a
I
lot of
was
things
just
going on.
thinking that, yeah. If kinda jumping ahead to, like, how to improve this story,
Yeah,
there is there's a lot of just running around the ship, which I feel like could be like, I
yeah.
think it mostly works, but at a point, it could be cut down.
No, but I wouldn't say even cut down. It should be expanded on. The ship should be more of a character. The ship
Yeah.
isn't a character. The ship's not interesting. You could have, if you had another pod here and made it a five podder, that first pod exploring the ship could have been really interesting. And if we really understood like the little different details on the ship and like the history of the ship and the Doctor exploring it and telling us, oh, this is from this and that is from that. Like, giving it a little bit more character would have been made the
Yeah.
ship more interesting. It's just kind of boring ship in this story.
In the behind the scenes documentary, they talk about the writer was drawing from the stories of the Flying Dutchman, uh, the crew that's trapped for eternity, and I think yeah, making the ship much more of a character would go a long way. Because as it is, it's okay, but I've
Yeah.
ended up finding the boarding school much more interesting.
It's okay because we not really spend that much time there. We're never spending as much time there that we're like, all right, it's serviceable. And then like, yeah, is there anyone else to talk about? There's that guy that that Turlough frames, like the nerdy
It's
guy.
not worth talking about.
No, he is worth talking about because I was getting scared that's like, "Oh god, how much is this character gonna be in this story?" I was very happy to find out that he's barely in the story. But you can imagine a world that that character is, like, always the sidekick to Turlough throughout the whole story and is just annoying throughout.
I have a question for you, Kim.
Yeah.
So this this last season and right now, I we're seeing Doctor Who become much more self-reflective, I feel
Mm.
like. We're seeing much more, remember Patrick Troughton? Remember the Brigadier? Liz Shaw? All the,
Remember Omega?
remember Omega? Remember Cybermen?
I remember.
It's a lot more like nostalgia stuff, which is
Yeah.
something in our current popular culture is very much overplayed.
Oh, 1000%.
But
And just wait for Avengers Doomsday.
yeah, we'll see. This story in particular, highlighting the like little 2-minute clip show of 2, 3, and 4 with some of the enemies of the Brigadier. I remember.
Yeah.
Does it work? Is it too much? Will it get to be too much at some point?
It works because we haven't had this up to this point, and it's so sparingly, and also you would have to think about from the context of before VHS is that this was a bit this is some people's first time seeing some of these imagery. So it's like it's cool. It's not like a modern standpoint when like we see something and like we're gonna get flashback to like an old story and we're like, "Oh, okay, we have it on DVD. We have the Blu-ray box set. We don't need to get a flashback to it." Like it's a different era and it's nice. And it's charming. I don't know, maybe I'm a hypocrite.
It's enough where it feels nice. It feels like, especially for me, where we never talked about this. All I've seen of this show is Unearthly Child to Mawdryn Undead,
And some big
um,
finish and some books.
and some companion chronicles and a couple
Well, that's
second,
big finish.
yeah, some expanded media. But I'm very ignorant of the future,
Yeah.
and having little bits and pieces that call back when it's very rare up to this point. Uh, I like it. It feels like my investment is paying off, that I've spent 2.5 years doing this, and I'm picking up on the details I wouldn't have if I had picked this episode up randomly.
Yeah. But like you could imagine in a modern context if they did this, you would be kind of like groaning, being like, I okay. I get it. We've seen these imageries, but we've seen these images 1,000 times. It's fine. We know what we don't need to see that same montage again.
If we had in the new series like a similar thing where an old companion is like, I don't remember you. Who are you? Doctor Who? And then we see, I remember, a clip show of like a a bunch of stuff from, 10, 11, 12.
It doesn't work as well just because, like I said, I have the Blu-ray box set on my shelf. I know.
It's our recency. It's
Also,
also much more fresh.
it's also just like it's a different type of media. Again, they wouldn't have had access to this. I think right around this time would have been VHS what was coming out, but like it's different. It's different just because they don't have access to just watching classic Doctor Who like we have access to watching any Doctor Who now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ben, what's next? We already talked about how to improve the story. Do you want to go to special effects or
Yeah, let's talk
is
about some
is there
special
anything in
effects.
particular? Okay, let's do special effects.
There's not a lot here, I feel like.
No.
Um in terms of like graphics, there's like the weird dimension that the Black Guardian is in.
Yeah. Which is very hokey and very much 80s.
In terms of more practical, I learned in the documentary how they did the glowing crystal.
Yeah, the glowing crystal is a good special effect. It is a good special effect.
Yeah, where there's like a wire going
Mm,
down his sleeve and in the back hooked up to a car battery
wow.
to get it that bright because the studio lighting would overpower it otherwise.
I do like the makeup special effect when we see Tegan and Nyssa when they travel and they start getting like that disease and they're getting old and
Hmm.
shriveled. It's like that's a good special effect.
And I think the ship itself looks okay. It's an interesting design that isn't just white
Yeah.
walls.
It's serviceable. I even though I think like I was talking about before, if you had more character and you went a different route with it, it would have been even interesting if it was like a dead ship.
Yeah,
Like if we really played with this is the one more having blank. What did you say? The ship
Flying
it was.
Dutchman.
If we really played with the Flying Dutchman fail of it, and it's like this old abandoned ship with a bunch of cobwebs and like you could even play with like technology is a little bit older than the time period that the TARDIS is in, or like the the different types of technology that spread out throughout the ages. You could have played with that, and you could have also played with that in the production design elements of it, instead of having it be what it is, which is kind of art deco-y and a lot of red colors.
Yeah. It's definitely more of a luxury cruiser than a
Yeah.
science vessel.
And then again, like we shot it out, it's not a special effect, but the Raven on top of the Black Guardian's head. And then the worst one, there's not really a really bad special effect this story.
Yeah.
There's not one that's taking me out of the story that's going, "Oh, Jesus." But it helps that it doesn't have a monster. I guess the
Yeah.
worst one might be the exposed brain, but, like, you
That's
can
like a ball
understand
of
from the
yarn.
you can understand they don't have that much to work with.
Yeah. Another on the good side of things, I think having the two brigadiers be really distinguishable from each other and having
Oh,
them
yeah.
interact at the end, I think was very well done and
Yes.
would have been logistically complex.
Whoever in the production had that thought, thumbs up to you.
Thumbs up.
You did your job.
Good job. You're probably dead, but you did good. Unless you're not, in which
And you're
case,
just you're just
keep
listening
going,
to
keep
these
trucking.
20-year-olds talk about your story that you worked on.
Um, well, are we ready to wind things down?
Yes, Ben. Let's wind things down, and is it
How?
rankings time?
It is. How would you rank Mawdryn Undead?
Honestly, talking to you about this story has made me like it even more, because I was gonna go with a solid 8, but I think actually talking about it, I think it's maybe a bit higher than an 8. So I'm gonna do the same as last week, 8.3, because I don't think I like it as much as Visitation, but I really enjoyed this story. I think this is a solid story, and so far, yes, Awkwafina is a little bit shaky, but Snake Dance and Modern Undead has been 2 pretty good stories. I'm looking forward to see how the rest of the season turns out.
Yeah.
I've heard Alignment in particular is supposed to be pretty good, so I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to Alignment.
I'm feeling I might have liked this more than Snake Dance. I think I'm feeling 8.7.
Wow.
It's pretty good. I really like this. Which gives us to an average rating of 8.5. And to talk about polls,
Our second highest of the Peter Davidson so far.
I guess you're right. Right behind Earthshock. Wow. Um, but to talk about polls, Doctor Who magazine does a poll every decade or so since the 90s. In 2023, this was ranked number 8. 2014 and 2009, it was ranked number 9, all out of 20. because this is every Fifth Doctor story. And in 1998, it was ranked 11. So it's something that has trended upward as polls review, which I think having the nostalgia element might boost it up. I don't know.
Yes. But also I think an element of there of all right, if you're we've talked about a lot in this podcast of like, all right, if you're a New Who fan and you just want to have a list of classic Doctor Who stories to watch, this would be on the list that you would give somebody that is a New Who fan. That's like, okay, yeah. So if you like the third Doc, you liked the couple episodes like that you watched there with the Brigadier, Mawdryn Undead, Brigadier's back. Good story for you to jump in on.
Yeah.
And then the last time we did a full poll in 2014, it ranked 117 in between. On top, it was Robot, and down below was the God Complex. I'm shocked the God Complex is so low. I really like that story. Um, I'm excited to see what you think of the God Complex because that story is pretty awesome.
I will look forward to New Who as I always do one day. Well, I think that'll do it then. Thank you so much for tuning in for this video podcast. Woo! High five,
Ooh,
Cam. High five.
am I here? Am I
Yeah.
the right position?
Oh, you're
The, the power video.
the power of video. We'll see. Or we'll probably continue doing this. I think this went well.
Yes.
And tune in next week for continuing uh the Black Guardian trilogy. Terminus.
Ooh. All right, I'm gonna go watch the God Complex.
All right. Enjoy. Have a
Peace
wonderful
out.
rest of your day, everybody.